Good morning, world. Good morning, world. Oh my goodness, this is such a beautiful day. And it's less windy than it's been the last few days I've been out here. But welcome back to Personal Lifestyle Determinants of Health, Work Habit Mindfulness, Part 3, where we are talking about social work habits. Oh my goodness. Uh, This one is huge, it's got layers. And in part one and part two, I did mention that the challenge was being a work addict. But with social work habits, the other layer to that was uh, I I'm also kind of like a perfectionist, and I was a fixer. I wanted to fix everything, everyone, eh, and I've always been the kind of person, um, who wants to make everything correct. I don't like chaos. I don't like confusion. Oh my goodness, that was my Achilles heel. The other thing is, I'm such a self sufficient person and I'm very resourceful. So I didn't know how to ask for help or let alone, especially from people that were also benefiting from me. Those are the people I would ask for help. So, and I would get all defensive when I get objections, and I just stopped asking. But as I have gotten older, I started realizing that, you know what, you have to ask for help. And that was one of the things that I recognized in studying my solutions and in practicing mindfulness. You know, ask for help. And if I ask for help, I would always hear this, well, like I would say something like, what have you done for me lately? I need you to help me with this, that, and the other. Or I'll just come out straight and say, can you help me with this? And an excuse, oh, there's something that I have to do, or there's always something. I'm never a priority. Yet I'm helping these people in my life, whether they're family, friends, colleagues. And then once I started saying, well, they come and ask for more, I say, what have you done for me lately? They're like, oh, you are so transactional. And I learned to own it. I'm like, yes, I am transactional. I do you, you do me. That's how it's supposed to work. It sounds ugly, but it goes with the second solution where if you find yourself in a situation where you are exhausted with your social work that you're doing for other people, distance, you need to uh, get out of the situation, and find, uh, and it's not just getting out of the situation physically. You yourself have to recognize your complicity and your participation and your contribution to the situation. So you need to get out of that habit. You need to get it out of your head. You need to get it out. Get out of the situation. And it's a gradual process. You're not going to just wake up and say, oh, I'm out of here, or I'm going to stop doing this. You have to make incremental steps because it's got implications on your health. Uh, so learn to ask for help and learn to to get out of the situation. And I was so inspired yesterday watching Harry and Meghan's uh, interview. Oh my goodness, it was heartbreaking, but I'm glad they had the courage to get out. of that situation. And sometimes we think, oh, these things happen to ordinary folks like you and I, or to people without money or status. It happens everywhere. It's a universal thing. The other thing with social work habits is I love volunteering and for causes that I'm very passionate and excited about. And I remember at one point I was sitting on like 5 boards, and they were all worthy uh, missions that I was interested in. And then one day, when I started realizing I'm missing some of the meetings, and I'm a very committed person when I sign up for something. But the moment I realized it was getting counterproductive, I decided I need to step back a little bit. I need to get out of all this work that I'm doing. And mind you, a lot of social work that you do is uncompensated work. You do it because you love it, you do it because um, you are giving back, you do it because it's a cause you believe in. But at some point, it's going to take a toll on your health, and it's your responsibility to put your health first. So I had to get out of all those commitments. And now I kind of sit on only 2 boards, and that's okay. But one of those things was needing to uh, stop. And it's hard to stop. And this is why, I'm always talking about organic, natural ways that are relevant to yourself. Because if you don't understand the challenge or the root cause of why you are in it, you are not going to be able to find solutions that are sustainable in that work. The other thing that I mentioned earlier was when I was talking about income work, like when you work, when you're a work addict, you generalize it to all parts of your life. And learning to say no was one of those solutions. Now, in social work habits, saying no to people can be very emotional because these are people probably you care about. These are people that you love in some cases. And then turning around, and these are people who are in both your business or not just in your business or public life. They are also in your personal life. And you have to learn to say no to them. It doesn't settle very well. But one of the things that I always asked was, I started asking, what's in it for me? And it was a very uh, a difficult question because I felt selfish because you are guilted into staying and having people, these emotional vampires, or having people in it. Remember, I mentioned that there is a reward system, and the reward could be positive, could be negative, but there is still a reward that you're getting out of it. So when I started saying no in social work habits, it was hard because it was not part of my makeup. Because, and yes, you don't want to be called selfish or self interested. But if your health is deteriorating because you've got too much on your plate, it helps no one. It doesn't help you or anybody else. So, and another thing that also I started doing is I remember years ago, Anyala saying, signs are everywhere. And this was before I even started practicing mindfulness. And I realized for real, the universe tells you what's where, what, and you have to just be paying attention. But if you are very distracted with life and with this busyness, you're not gonna you're gonna miss the signals. And the other thing is, and you know what? I like reading, books, but I always try to walk away with a nugget of wisdom. I remember one time I read the book by Richard Carlson, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And one thing that I remember from reading that book is just because if someone throws you a ball, you don't have to catch it, you know. And I would give this advice to other people, when I'm commiserating or coaching someone, don't catch the ball. But I was catching all my balls that I didn't need to be catching. And then once I started reminding myself, and because of practicing mindfulness, to not catch those balls, and I would just watch it roll out of sight, I would say, watch it roll out of sight. People were kind of like, oh, you have changed. Yes, I have changed and I'm changing and I'm going to continue to change. Because just because you throw me a ball, and in social work, you get a lot of balls thrown at you. And it's always good to learn to dodge that ball. The other thing that I also learned, and in addition to asking, was to delegate. I never was able to delegate because, again, my culpability, I'm a perfectionist. I know how to do it better and best. I would not delegate, and I would try to do it all. And I realized I couldn't do it all. Just because I'm good at it doesn't mean I have to do it. And then I started hiring help. And the first thing that I had to hire uh, when my son was born was a nanny. And oh my goodness, the, the, the I appreciated her so much. And mind you, I'm not rich by any means. I'm very wealthy in many other ways, but I'm not rich in terms of monetary thing. I'm okay, you know. But I realized that I could uh, reallocate my funds so that I could hire help. And then years later, when my son started going to school and I really didn't need a nanny, I hired, I've since hired a housekeeper. And oh my goodness, it, some people budget for going to restaurant, for going on so many vacations. I budget for having a housekeeper because it's good for my welfare. It's good for my physical, mental health because I'm a, I need to live in clean environment. And if I'm so busy that I now am not getting to it, it's got consequences. So I just want to say today, social work habits are all those things that you do uh, in your social life, in your personal life, that you're not compensated for, but you love to do. And you need to make sure that you you review and analyze. If you're not having problems with it, yeah, keep on going. But I just wanted to say, you know, choose what is important. Choose your health first. If nobody told you they love you today, I do. Ciao, ciao.